If you plan on adding T-tracks to any of your projects, you're going to sometimes need to hold things down. You can buy something called a hold down clamp, which does exactly that. We attach a bolt through the center and then we're able to attach it onto our T-track. You can buy these, they're not really that expensive, but my philosophy is if you can make tools instead of buying them, they're much more valuable in the long run. You'll feel more proud using it and it'll feel a whole lot better in your hands. Today we're gonna work on the technique of bending through lamination. I've got my 4 pieces cut already and I'm using walnut as well as oak on the outside. All the dimensions are gonna be on the website, but this is what I've got right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and start off by gluing. I will be using a lot of glue because I definitely want to make sure that everything gets glued up. Now I'll go ahead and add my pieces, but before I do, I want to add a little bit of salt. This just gives a little bit of friction and we're only using a few grains, not hardly anything at all. It's just enough friction that these don't move around a whole lot because we do want these to be in a certain position. We don't want them to move. As long as we're lined up on the outside, it looks like we are, then we're good. We'll give this a few hours to dry and we'll come back. While that dries, I have a 2x6 here that's actually 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And we're going to map out the shape of our form. We're going to start at the bottom edge and go up 2 inches. We're going to come to this edge over here and go up 1/2 inch. At the 2-inch line, I'm going to go over 5.25 inches. Now I need to make a mark over at 7 3/8. I want to go up 1/4 inch from this point. On the vertical line, we're going to go up 1.25 inch. I've got a 2 7/8 circle here, and this is just a peanut butter lid. I'm going to put it so that it touches that 1/4 inch mark that we made, and just the line. I'll take this to the bandsaw and we'll cut this line and all the way down. And we want to make sure that this is a continuous line and that we stay right in the center. You'll want to use a narrow blade. If you don't have a narrow blade or don't have a bandsaw, you can always use a coping saw. Now that this is cut out, we're not quite done yet. We need to decide how thick our hold down clamps are going to be. I'm going to make mine 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take my block that I just cut out and I'm going to place it on top of the other one. Now I want to come over to the edge. I'm going to measure over 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch over here. Since I do need to draw a line on the other side of this, I could tape this on. I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to flip this over now and just add another line. And I need to cut this section right here out. This is what it looks like with it cut out. I've switched my blade out to a 1/16 inch blade. I'm doing this because I want to get the most that I can out of this block of wood. At this point, I want to peel off about a 1/16 inch, maybe even a little bit less than a 1/16 inch. So I'll use my thin strip jig. I think I will set it to a 1/16 inch. If you're interested in making one of these, I have a link in the description. This is the best and safest option. I don't suggest trying to do it against the fence. And then take really slow passes. And there we go. I was able to get 20 pieces out of about a 3-inch piece. So let's go glue them together. With all of our pieces sliced, we're gonna come in here. We're gonna find the center of this rectangle. We're gonna make a little mark and carry it over to the edge. With the mark on, I'm gonna go ahead and train my first one. Each of these pieces will need to be trained, but you're not gonna need to add a mark to each one of them. We'll come in here and I wanna line that up with the mark that we made earlier. This is that vertical line. And we'll add a mark to the end of the strip. Pull out the square, we're gonna make our mark, and then we're gonna cut this off now. Make sure that you get the hot glue off the back, but this is what we're looking for right here. At this point, there's a couple ways that we can go. We need to have something on the edge that will keep our pieces from obviously flipping out on this side. You could take a pipe clamp and attach it and then tighten it down. But the problem that you're going to run into is it's going to be difficult to later on clamp, which is what we're going to need to do in order to clamp and glue these pieces. Another option is to just use a couple screws from the side and attach this, which is what I'm going to do because I think it's a little bit easier. I've already drilled these out, so I'm going to go ahead and add my screws. And now we can go ahead and start training each one of these. I'll let this sit in here for about 10 minutes and let it stretch out before we do anything else. Now I'm going to go ahead and slide these out. Want to be careful that we don't pull them out this way. They could break. I'm going to use some packaging tape. This will make sure that the glue doesn't stick to this and give me a lot of problems later on. And I'm also going to add it to this piece as well. Now, one thing that you will notice as you're doing this is that all your pieces are going to start lining up on this edge over here. To fix this, you can take a shim and put it on the inside, and as you push these in, they'll slide a little bit further forward and it'll help kind of balance these things out. And this will just fit in here like this, and then we'll slide our pieces in. One thing you're going to see me do as I glue this up is I'm going to use some water. I'm going to spray a little bit on, and that's just to keep the glue a little bit wet because it does take a little bit of time to add glue to each one of these and set it in place. I am going to use a squeegee. Hopefully that speeds things up a little bit. I found that when you get down to about this point, if you use a 3/16 inch dowel, it'll really get it the rest of the way. I'll use a shim in here. That looks good. We'll come back when this is dry. We'll see if it turned out okay. And this is it straight out of the mold. I did sand it a little bit. You can see on this one side, using that shim helps keep everything square. On the other side, we've got this kind of tapered effect, which is okay. We're just going to go ahead and cut this off. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you right now what it's going to look like when we're done with it. This is my second one that I've made, and it's a little bit more rounded. It's a little shorter. You can see the bottom. I've rounded this off. You can see I've got a little bit of a spot here where it didn't laminate right. This one seemed to do pretty good. I've been able to clamp with it really well. If it bothers you that you see this little bit of a gap, you can always fill it with sawdust and glue and then sand it up later on. I cut this one down to 5.5 inches. You can make yours as long as you want it to be. I think that as you get longer, it's flexible, but even with this length, I really didn't find it was a problem. So I'm going to come over here to 5.5 inches. And I found a glue stick, kind of gives me a rounded shape. I'll come around to the back. I'm going to do the same thing. I do want to make sure that I'm just barely getting that top layer there. And that's pretty much what it looks like. Let me compare it to the other one. That looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and cut this now. And this is what we're left with when we're done. You could call it quits at this point, but there's something that you really need to add to this. If we think about the mechanics of how these work, we're using friction to hold down whatever it is that we don't want to move. There's two different ways that we can do this. We can put an enormous amount of pressure on the top of this, which through pressure will give us that friction that we're looking for. But if you're using this with a T-track, the last thing that you want to do is put an enormous amount of pressure on your T-track as it is glued or screwed into whatever groove you put it into. Second way we can add a lot of friction is by using some kind of rubber of some kind, and you'll see that a lot of the T-track hold downs that you'll find online have a rubber coating over both ends. We can get the same, or what I think is even a better effect, if we use something called Tracker Runner. It's really cheap stuff. You can buy it by the foot. You've got a carpet texture on one side, and then the other side has this rubber grip. All we need to do to add this to our clamp is to add a little bit of Mod Podge. It's really inexpensive stuff. You can get it anywhere. You can get it at Walmart. To make it, we're going to go back to our jig, and I've got two pieces that I've cut out. You'll want to have one that wraps around this edge as it will pivot, and then we'll want to put it on the bottom side, which will come in contact with their stock. The reason I think that this is a little bit better is that this has a lot of padding in it. Something that the other rubber feet don't have that I think really gives it a lot better of a grip, as well as protecting your stock when you do squeeze it down. To add it, we'll flip our carpet side over, and it doesn't take a lot to make this work. That should be good right there for that side. And that's good for that one. I'll take the larger piece, that's just gonna wrap around like this, and then this fits right inside the groove here. We'll take the other piece and it's just gonna fit right on the end. If you're having a hard time getting this in here, you just wanna take it and squeeze it around like this, and then just add that other piece. Slide this on top, and then like before, we'll add our clamps. Because Mod Podge is a little bit more watered down than regular wood glue, it will take about 4 or 5 hours to dry. Once you've pulled it out, allow it to dry for maybe a couple hours longer, but that's pretty much it. There's really not a whole lot to this stuff. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below. Tell me if this is something that you might make in the future. If you found it interesting, share it with a friend.